I want to get it perfect, it'll be sticking out. I'm going to have to use a shim, so I'm just going to bring it down to where it originally was. I'm also going to bring this side down a bit more. I actually just had to use my pocket knife to trim it. 2023 and season 4. I think this will even go to 2024. I don't know. All I can tell you is that we've been sailing the boat and enjoying ourselves. Minimal amount of boat work this year, but that's okay. I want to enjoy my family, I want to enjoy the boat, and I also want to enjoy some boat drinks. Nothing better than being sun-kissed on the water. I hope that you guys have really enjoyed these videos, and if there's something you want to see, I implore you to reach out and ask me, and I'm more than happy to record it for you. Boat work is my favorite, so if you have some need for a helping hand, by all means, just reach out. I'm here. But until then, I hope you guys hit that like and subscribe button, and cheers to you in the water. What's going on? All right, so this is going to be part 2 of how to replace your ladder header board on your Catalina 30. So first thing we got to do is, actually, I hope I actually have wood. After playing with this rotten piece and measuring it properly, it's 1/2-inch plywood. So I need just to get a piece. I have a ton of scraps, so I'm gonna go dig through that. If not, we're taking... All right, so I'm just taking this scrap piece here, and what I need to do is I clamped it down to my table. I'm gonna go ahead and remove all the trim that's remaining on here. It's so bad. The problem we're gonna have here is getting this line with the rotten wood, but I think I'm gonna be okay. So let me pull these out, and then we'll see what we're left with here. I'm worried that these little screws are actually holding all this together, and if that happens, I'm gonna be a big problem. So and you know what? Make sure you keep your hardware someplace safe. I use mason jars. And I just didn't. All right, so now we have our trim removed. This needs to be treated like something very fragile. So now I'm going to go ahead and transfer this over to the board that I'm working with. So while we're looking at this real quick, again, this is just a piece of scrap. I want to find the nicest looking grain, right? I don't know if I want to see a knot. That may not look nice. So I think I'm going to work on this side. This is going to be my edge that I'm going to use. All right, so if you are doing this, a pro tip would be to use the edge on the back, right? So we know, sorry, I'm one-handed today. We know that that's a straight edge because this was an uncut piece. Everything here is a little bit warped, so you try to get it the best you can. At least that's what I'm going to do. By the way, once I get this template down, matter of fact, this one's probably going to be a template. I should make 2 of these. I should actually make one off this back side. That'll be the good one. I'll have a template, and I can make these, you know, for anyone who needs them rather quickly, as long as you have your trim. Really, it's not a big deal if you don't, because I suppose I could probably just make some new trim pieces for you as well. I do like woodworking, so that is fun. All right, let me now get this traced, and then we can start cutting it out with a jigsaw. All right, so again, I'm using the back edge as my first line. It comes down. I know that's pretty straight. We're going to come over, we're going to come up and put that notch in. This is the problem. This I'm going to have to freehand right here, but I will get an edge on that in a minute. Push that piece back in. Oh, this is so bad. It's so bad. Oh, that's a better line there. All right. We know that this has to come out to roughly here. Let me get something. Well, we'll finish that. So, the best you can if it's rotten, just make your best straight line. by pressing it down. The best we can. Push these warped pieces back in. Like that. The straightest line I'm getting is over here. So that's what I'll continue with. Alright, so now we're going to take this piece off. And there's our rough piece. And then I'm just going to take a square, best I can. Let's see. Good. That looks pretty darn good. My only concern is right here. This. That is my area of concern. So you know what I'm gonna trace it this way too and see if I get a better result. So I know that the bottom here is a nice straight edge. So we just gotta match that up again the best we can. That looks pretty darn good. I'm gonna bring you over a bit. We're gonna make two. We are gonna make two. This might be the better way, being that the bottom is rotten, and I know I'm working with a perfectly straight edge now from sorry, I'm not gonna talk here because I want to pay attention. Yeah, I actually like it better this way. And then this should have came straight, so I'll do that with the square. Now, something, look at all these pieces. Something to think about here when you're building one of these is you can always bring like a Dremel with you and tighten it back up. You know, like assuming I'm not going to go down, I'm going to go down and fit it, right? And then I'm going to go ahead, and if I have to do any dremeling, I can do so on both of these. So, all right, let me get this cut out now with a jigsaw. I need to find, oop, there it is. Here's my jigsaw. Trusty Ryobi. Oh, yeah. I have had this Ryobi jigsaw for so long. It's amazing. So, if you ever see one of these, I promise you, this is an amazing tool. Now, I'm actually going to transfer this to up here and just clean up a little bit of, I got so many tools lying around here. I need to clean this all up a little bit, and then I'm going to move this. I'm going to clamp it up here, and we're going to work off this bench. Give me 2 seconds to do. All right, so now I have it clamped to the table. If you guys are, I'm going to bring you a Harbor Freight one, but if you do find this this Ryobi saw is actually really good. It's 18 volt. I've had that since 2004. Same with my jigsaw. So Ryobi stuff's awesome. Look, this is my little Ryobi tool area, and I love it. It works. Right now I got this clamped on. I'm feeling pretty good. Make sure they're nice and tight, and we're going to go ahead and start to cut out the first rough cut. So all right, so the issue now is making this notch. So I'm going to just drill it out. I think that's probably the safest way. And grab another clamp. I have right here. Clamp this one to this one. She ain't going nowhere. And again, this is all just experimenting. I don't like it there. No, I might go a little smaller on the bit. little smaller on the bit. These are Harbor Freight. This whole set of auger bits was $7? $7. I can't wait to get you guys that. I'm happy with that. I'd love to go down and test fit it today. Don't think it's going to happen though. Alright, so here's where we are. Got the notch. I'm going to put it up to the other one and see. But I think we're in good shape here. Now I got to sand the edges down. And, well, may not even have to. I might just be able to see if we can get the trim on it real quick. Alright, so I just test fitted the trim. It fits good. My only concern is on the bottom trim. Using the template that I had, it comes over when you fit in. If you fit it all together, it comes over a bit. So my concern here is going to be, I can't remember. I'm going to have to go back and watch the video. Did this kind of lip in? I think it did, and then this actually meets up to the table. So I'm going to put the trim on this, and I think I'm going to fly down to the boat today before I paint anything. And before I cut the other one out, because that's the only other piece I have. So I'm going to fly down there, I think in just a little while. We'll quickly tack this together. If she fits on, I'm in golden shape. I'll come back, we'll get it stained. I was thinking of putting glass on it. I'm thinking I might just resin it. I'm not sure yet. But let me get the trim on, and then we'll have a gander. I do recommend, if you guys are doing this, to drill in some pilot holes, just to make things a little easier. You don't have to go crazy. Just a little starter hole. That's enough. Do one over here. I'm not going to go crazy. Make sure we're good. That looks good. And then I'll do the top piece before I do the bottom. I'm doing 3 on the top, which I believe is what it had. I really wish we could have music. I wish. I hate that we don't have music. What is doing this? Watch this. What do I do with you? Yeah. So I think this one will come out next week. Nice and tight. Do one here. Done. One up top. Done. The music thing kills me. I almost got to start wearing earbuds, so I'm not morbidly bored. Alright, so again, mine was rotten. We know that. The thing that's bothering me is this. Now I'm going off the old one. I have a feeling it just slides into place. So I'm probably going to take a ride down to the marina just to make sure. If this does work, and that my template's good, I am going to start selling these, and I'll sell them a lot cheaper than I'm sure we'll be able to find them anywhere else. Before I stain it and resin or glass it, I do need to bring it back over there just to have it, you know, make sure it fits. And then I'm going to take the old one and I'm going to match up all of our holes. Also, I'll take the trim back off and we'll lay it down and I'll get all the hardware placed on. Well, all right. So I'm fitting it, and I will say I got 2 things I've learned. A, the previous people ran a wire right here, so if I want to get it perfect, it'll be sticking out. I'm gonna have to use a shim, so I'm just gonna bring it down to where it originally was. I'm also gonna bring this side down a bit more. I actually just had to use my pocket knife to trim it, But that's it. One other thing, and this was bothering me before, is you can't put it on with all the trim on. I was wondering why he had used screws in the front. You have to trim it from the front when you put those back together. There's no way to actually slip it around this piece right here. So yeah, I'm stoked. Now that I have this, I'm actually going to dig that piece out just a little bit more so I can put this down, so I can bring this piece down just a tad, and then we'll be good to go. Just a little bit more trimming, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Although I don't think I can bring it down anymore because that trim piece is actually on the ground. See what I'm saying? It's already flush. So she's just gonna have to be like this, and that's just the way it is. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, I know I'd said I was going to glass, but I'm not going to. I'm actually going to, I'm gonna resin the whole thing. That's what we're gonna do here. So we'll get this home, we'll stain it today, and then we'll get the resin on it, and then we can come back down and install it. Excellent. All right, guys, so we know it fits. The thing we have to do now is get them clamped together, which is what I've already done. You get them as close as you can. I'm going off the true edge, which is the top that's still held. The bottom one, you don't know what's actually straight, what's not, because I'm messing with it. I can push some of this stuff back in. I will say that I had to make this hole a little bigger, which you just saw. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drill some pilot holes. I'm not going to even bother wasting my time trying to get a marker down in there. I'm just going to take my drill and drill small pilot holes in every one of these so I can match where my screws go. So let's get going on that real quick, and then basically all that's left is I'm going to stain it and then I'm going to poly it. I decided against going with fiberglass, so this should be fairly quick. All right, so right now I am using a 764. And I'm just going to hold it up in the air, and I'm going to use the top as a jig. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All the holes should now be close, right? This thing's so rotten. Cool thing is, once this template's done, I'll have this. So anyone who wants this, just seriously reach out. We'll take care of you and get one built. Alright, so again, we have all those in. I'm just curious. Alright, so now I've driven the correct size screw through each one of these holes. And now what we'll do is, when I resin this, I'm going to give it a good sanding, by the way. When I give it the resin, I'm going to make sure some resin gets down in there to help protect all these. Again, remember that the piece of trim on the front has to go on from the front, the bottom one. I'm going to ream this out just a little bit more because I did it with a pocket knife. Other than that, she's done. Ready for stain, resin, and then to be reinstalled. Alright, I don't know what I've just recorded, but now I'm going to do the front. Again, the back is done. It's multicolored now. Whoop-a-doo. But I'm going to put a lot of Minwax stain on here. So I really want it to absorb, especially right around the holes. You want to get a good amount where you're going to put your holes, so that gets down in there, and we'll protect it. Alright, so that's it with the original trim color, which is kind of orangish brown. Yeah, it looks nice. I do want to tidy up this trim. I'm not going to do anything with it until I go buy some of this trim, so I can make extra pieces. So if someone calls and wants one, we can redo the template. But pretty dope. I'm happy with it. Now we're going to get some resin on it, and it's done, ready to reinstall. So again, I used honey, and if you look at the trim versus the actual header board, they're like an exact match. So that's what I went with. It's honey by Minwax. Blah. So I'm literally mixing up the rest of my West Systems resin as we speak. Remember, when you do this, I like to use the non-flat part. I feel like giving it enough to scoop the sides. I like to, you know, run down the sides, get all the hardener and resin mixed. And you're going to want to mix for, I don't know, I like to give it a minute, solid. Now I am switching the total boat. Remember what I said about the red color? This is the 205 hardener. It's got that red color to it. And I think it's going to give a little bit of look here to the... my phone won't stop going off. Why is it every time I'm working with resin, my phone just starts going nuts? Oops. Let's see here. All right, so mix it up real good, and then we go from there. We're gonna put it into a little like painting tray, and I'm actually gonna roll it on with if I can feel the heat already. I'm gonna roll it on with a roller, just to get it going, and then this will be ready to install. Now I was just down looking, for more trim ideas, and I found a couple. It looks like I'm gonna have to rip them if I want to use that particular trim. All right, so again, these cheap paintbrushes, I love it. One other thing you want to do is clear your work area. Just gonna get this all out of my way. Okay, I'm doing the back first, and we gotta kind of work quick here. I hate recording resin. I'm gonna do the edges in the back, and then because I don't really care about the back, I'm gonna flip it over and I'll do the front. So I have my resin mixed rather nice. I'm gonna go ahead and pour it into my what do you call it, working tray here. Get as much out as possible. This is the last of my hardener. I have a little bit more resin left, but I don't believe I'll be buying any more of that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, because I want to do my edges first. Now also, if you like what you're working with, let's be clean about it. So I am going down my high edge. And again, I know this is very difficult to record, but I'm going down my high edge. And now I'm going to take my roller, roll up anything there, pull it down. Okay. So now I'm going to go do all my edges. And I just splattered some. This will weatherproof the entire thing. You want to get down into your nooks, crannies, dab it on. It's going to come over here. Ooh. Sorry guys, I have minimal working time here, and I'm sure the angle is not good. In 2 seconds, I will attempt to fix it. Okay. Got that edge done. More here. Get the edges. The edges are the key, right? I'm going to go back over the top one more than once, because that is our weak point here. At the same time, again, why I don't like recording while I work with resin is because you got to constantly be watching it. And this is really a two-handed job. Okay, that's good. Put this down. Give it a quick roll. Okay, now I'm going to pick it up. And I'm going to put you on hold for a second. So now, the bottom I'm not too worried about, right? So I just want to do the top again, because this is the spot that is going to be near all the water in the world. Put that down. I'm flipping her over onto my blocks of wood that I set up. And now I'm going to roll the back with the fiberglass resin. Now, you know, I suppose, just so you guys are aware, you could get away with doing this with any type of not varnish, what is it called? Like lacquer. What is that stuff? use it for bar tops. I don't know the name of it right now because I'm focusing on this. But by doing this, you're essentially, I mean, you're not laying glass, but you're essentially laying a coat of polyester over it, and water will never be able to intrude. If you ask me, it's better than marine grade plywood because it's encapsulated now. And be generous. You don't have to be, frugal or whatever the word is. Sorry, I don't like recording when I do glass or resin. Also, I am using a foam roller. The reason I'm using foam is because it'll leave a nice smooth finish that you more than likely will not have to sand. It'll look real nice. Just grab that and put that over here so it can be a little thicker. Okay, so that is now done. I'm going to roll it over and I'm going to do the front that I care about. This is the part that's going to look nice, so I want to be a bit more careful on the front. Now the back, I don't care how it dries. I'm never going to see it, ever. I want to get over all the holes. Make sure I'm laying enough resin. Yeah, see, wherever the hole is, I'm going heavy on it. It actually gives it a nice look. See how it looks when it dries. This is the fast cure, so technically this should be dry in about an hour. I'll hit it quickly with the heat gun just to kick it, so to speak. And on the edges is where you want to be real nice. Make sure you got everything covered. I'll go ahead and roll that edge now. This edge. This is an expensive table that I don't want to get ruined. That's it, people. And it's also self-leveling, so it should dry rather easy. I got more. So right over the holes. And you want it even, so keep rolling. Make it nice and even. So the only thing that would technically be left for you right now would be to get your pumps cleaned. And yeah, that's my flamethrower. You could get your pumps cleaned and just let it dry, and then put your trim on, and then basically bring it back down and put it back up. You're done. This is now done. I like the color, again, with that that honey. And yeah, this was super easy. Now, if you guys are interested in these, I will have them up on my site, and I'll put the info for when I actually put them up. I'm having issues finding this particular trim. I can find it where it's 1 inch by 1 inch, but I can't find the 1 inch by 3/4. So I'm going to keep looking for that. But if I cannot find it in the next 3 or 4 days, I'm going to go with a 1x1. I'll rip it down with a bandsaw. I need to get these pieces made before I put this one back. Otherwise, I won't have the correct templates, and I'd rather use those as the correct template to do this. So thanks for watching. The next episode, we'll be putting it back up. And then, like I said, I'm going to stitch all 3 of them together. So if you need to watch it all at once, you can fast forward, rewind, etc. You don't have to go to different videos. Cheers. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to smash that like and subscribe.